it was down south where they had all of the demonstrations and the riots going on in all the cities and burning down churches and all this kind of thing. And at first, I was mad at the African Americans, and I said, hey, you're living in America, you should be happy. What do you want? And then I would sit back, and I became much more liberal and understanding, and realized, oh, these people are just trying to be like me. They're just trying to have the same rights as I am, and not be looked at as second-class citizens. So I think I matured as I got older. I remember talking to my parents and friends of theirs a lot about it, and I think at first we would tend to kind of oh, well, that's their problem, and kind of push it aside and ignore it. But then as time went on and things became more violent, I think we started to respect it a little bit more and worry about it a little bit more and wonder what we could do about it more. But you see, Harmy, everything was happening so far away from me. I lived in this little protected town in the very middle of New Jersey. And most of this was happening in Chicago, Alabama, Haight-Ashbury, and in San Francisco. Hundreds and hundreds of miles from us. And it was kind of almost a separate thing for me. In other words, I personally never felt the desire to get in my car and drive to any of these places and join in on it. Not because I didn't care, but because I was younger then, and I kind of felt that it was the adults of this country. It was their problem that they had to fix, or something like that. I still remember, pretty clearly being proud of myself when I graduated from Princeton High School, and I knew I wanted to major in art. I was going to be a big-time graphic artist, and I had dreams, and so I majored in that and made some very dear and close friends in college. And some of those friends I became so close to that when they applied to schools in Southern California, that's what provoked me to do the same thing. And at that time, the Mamas and Papas song, California Dreamin', came out. I think it was 1967 or 68. And it was a coincidence because my friends and me were moving to Southern California to finish our college years. And so we were dreaming of moving west, young man, moving west, and singing the Mamas and Papas song as we went along Route 66. So I felt like I was accomplishing quite a bit. I was getting my independence from my parents, who I loved dearly, but I was getting my independence. I was moving 3,000 miles away from them and staying in my apartment, although I was, interestingly enough, still financially dependent on them because I didn't have any money. But my parents were very generous in allowing me to go to school in California. It was a big deal. And so I felt personal accomplishments in the 60s.